When I first moved to New York, I was there 3 months from Nashville, Tennessee. And I remember one night we would do comedy, then we'd always go eat at like a diner really late. And one night I'm sitting, I go to this diner, I'm sitting in the back, and this guy walks in with a CNI dog, but he's like pretending to be blind. Like he's not, like I'm really good at telling when people are fake blind. And I was like, this guy's not blind, you know? He walked in, he made a big announcement to it. He's like, hey, I'm blind, everybody, I'm blind. And then he started just knocking everything off everybody's table. Like, oh, I wish I could see what's going on, but I can't because I'm blind. And he had a CNI dog, but he was leading the dog around the whole time. The dog never got in front of him. And I was like, it doesn't work like that, you know? Like, I don't think the dog builds confidence and is like, why don't you do some of these on your own? I just want to see, you know, if you get it, like, So I'm watching all this happen. I'm getting pretty upset about it, you know, because I just moved to the north from the south, so I still cared about people. And I was like, I gotta do something, you know? And so they kick him out, and they get us outside. And I go out there, I look, I was like, all right, let me go, because in my Mayberry head, I think this is New York's biggest problem. And I go over to him, I was like, what's wrong with you, man? Like, why would you pretend to be blind? Like, how would you feel if you really were blind? And he was like, how would you feel if you were blind? I was like, what does that even mean? And then he sprayed me with mace. And he was so accurate. You know, it wasn't like, oh, I hope I get him. It was both eyeballs. The bridge of my nose wasn't even wet. That's how good he was. And when you get sprayed with mace, you can see for a second. And I remember, like, I was like sitting there, and I look up, and he runs across the street, and he gets hit by a cab. For real, it wasn't bad. Like the cab, like just kind of bumped in. I mean, it wasn't good, but it wasn't, you know, like he's fine. I think he's fine. He could see after. No, I don't know. But he falls into the sidewalk. But I remember like thinking, I was like, I saw that cab. Like he definitely should have seen it, you know. So it was like, all right. I mean, odds are he's probably blind, you know. Maybe it's his first day or something. I don't know. Like, maybe he's going through a lot. And I should have just backed up. Everybody asked, too. They're like, oh, was it... they would run another. Like, would you get sprayed with pepper spray or mace? And it's like, I don't know what it was. What kind of life are you living if you could tell the difference? If I knew, it was something. I don't know. Could have been hairspray. I don't know. What do you...
I've gotten into trouble lots of times in Ireland. There's a show in Ireland, it's a chat show called The Late Late Show, and I don't like it. It's like a cross between a funeral and a fundraiser. It's the longest running chat show in the world. It feels like that when you're fucking watching it. It goes on and on. It's 2 hours of live patronising television every Friday night. But every time they ask me to go on, I end up saying fucking yes, because as my own mother said, there's a bit of want in you, Tom. So I go through phases, like you have to go, in order to, like this right now, whatever the fuck it is a kind of a phase. I couldn't tell you exactly what the fucking, but in years to come, I look back and I'll go, what the fuck was I thinking? But right now, it's my only way of surviving. Back then, 4 years ago on The Late Late Show, I was going through this phase of pure and utter improvisation. Prepare no thing at all. Walk out and just start fucking talking. And if you're a real comedian, then you'll be funny. So, as you know, most conversations on most chat shows are rehearsed. So the researcher fucking phones me up on the Monday, said, let's start getting ready for the interview. And I says, you are talking to an artist. The next time you see me will be 10:15 on Friday night. Whatever happens, happens. Wait till you hear what fucking happened. It was shit. It was so shit. I was live on television and I couldn't think of anything funny to say. I had nothing prepared. All these questions were coming at me. The host was a man called Ryan Tubridy, and he's a lovely man. And I had nothing until he said, you like whiskey, don't you, Tommy? And I do. 'Tis made from melted firelighters and the tears of red-headed women. I love whiskey, and as soon as he said it, I remembered a joke that I had come up with about whiskey. Now, it's one of those jokes. The only way you'll allow yourself to laugh is if you keep reminding us, he's only joking. And even though I knew there was very little chance of this joke succeeding in front of a mainstream Irish fucking studio audience, when something is going bad, aren't you kind of curious as to, I wonder how shit this can be. I really wonder how much worse So I just went for it. I went for it. I said, you're right, Ryan, I do like whiskey, but it's a dangerous drink. A man can get himself into trouble drinking whiskey. How's that, says he, the big fucking innocent head in him. And no idea the shit I was about to get into. I said, it's a dangerous drink, Ryan, because a man can find himself going into a bar and shouting across the room, can I have a 12-year-old, please? Thank you for laughing. Thank you. Jesus, if only you'd have been in the studio audience that night. Because they didn't laugh. Oh, fuck no. Not on RTE where they make the Angelus. Oh, no, they were just fucking staring at me, traumatised and powerless, looking at me as if I'd gone into their grandmother's wake, lifted her little body out of the coffin, taken it upstairs, and reappeared 15 minutes later in the clothes that she had been wearing inside in the coffin. That's the look they had on their faces. The fella who was operating Ryan hadn't a clue what to do. He hadn't a fucking clue. He was lurching this way. But there must have been an automatic pilot button on the puppet, because all of a sudden Ryan said, we'll see you after the break. I got up, and when I get it wrong and I say something that hurts people's feelings, I start to hate myself. And I was walking off stage, and I've had this feeling so many times before, and it can take years for me. I don't know why. It takes years for me. I'm not as strong and as confident when it comes to hurt. I just fucking... And I was walking off stage thinking to myself, your mother was right. My own mother said to me one time, she said, Tom, I wished I'd never had children. My mother's... But hang on, she was drunk. It was my birthday. It was fine. So... I walked off stage and into the green room where all the other celebrities were. None of them made even eye contact with me for fear that I was contagious or something. And no one made room for me to sit down on the couch, so all I could do was stand there in the middle, watching the big TV on the wall. Then the host came back after the ads, and he said, our next guest has a harrowing story to tell. It contains some details that some of you may find distressing. Now, this beautiful woman in her early 30s walks on. She's sitting down. After a minute, Ryan says, and you were sexually abused as a child. You know, as if she'd fucking forgotten or something. And she said, yes, I was. And they could have left it there, couldn't they? And because you can't change the past, just go on to talk about happy shit. But no, he had to fucking find out. And how old were you when the abuse began? And I just went, fuck off. You can fuck off. If she says 12, I'm in the river. I'm in the fucking river. You'll never hear from me. No, I love you, Jesus. Make her say 11. Come on. Fucking make her say it.
Sometimes I don't feel like a real man, right? Like I'm a real man, like I got real man parts and shit, but I don't feel like a real man. Like I feel like I don't have enough. No. No, you have to say that now. Don't act like I'm not kidding. You know what I mean? Like, I got it. But I feel like I don't have enough tools, ties, and dress socks to be a real man. I feel like any real man I know has a lot of tools, a lot of ties, and a lot of dress socks. Where do you get all those tools from? Someone was like, you get those tools for gifts. I was like, ugh. If anyone ever bought me $200 worth of tools, I'd be like, return them and get me 4 PlayStation games. I don't need tools. I have 3 tools. I have a Phillips screwdriver, I have a flathead screwdriver, and I use my girlfriend's pliers. You know how emasculated it is when your lady's like, did you put my pliers back? I was like, I was gonna use them again. She's like, just put my stuff back. I'm saying this one night, I'm in Boston, and the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me after a show happened. This lady follows me to the car after the show. She goes, excuse me, comedian? Excuse me, honey? You don't have a hammer? You don't have a hammer, honey? And I said, what? She said, on stage you didn't say you had a hammer. You don't have a hammer? And I didn't have the heart to tell her I own a home, I have a hammer, but I just went with it. I was like, no, I don't have a hammer. She goes, oh my God, give me a second. This lady runs to her car. She comes back, she goes, I always keep 2 hammers in my car, honey, you gotta have a hammer. I took the hammers and I threw them in my trunk and I started laughing. Because I thought about this lady going back to her car, making a call like, hello? Babe? Yeah. I got rid of the hammer. Yeah. I gave it to the black guy handle first. We're good to go. Who takes a hammer from somebody in the parking lot late at night? You know how stupid you have to be? Tonight, when we're all finished, I got a wicker basket out back. I'm collecting ice picks, so just drop them in the basket. Out back. Stupid can you be? I'm just not a handy guy. I'm not that dude. I got people that always want to fix stuff. You should knock that wall down. You can see from the kitchen right into the living room. I'm good walking around the wall. I'm not knocking it. I'm not knocking nothing down. It's not my... It's a lot of pressure with stuff in the wall. Listen, you want to feel less manly? You ever have a guy knock on a wall near you? He knows where everything is. He's like, you hear the difference? The studs are right here. You hear that? Like, if there's a lot of people around, I'm like, yeah, I hear it, but I'm telling you, I never hear it. It just sounds like somebody beating up a wall. Who taught this man where the studs were by knocking? Here's a secret you might not know. 85 thumbtacks will hold your TV up for 5 minutes. It'll fall soon after, but for a little bit, you'll be like, look what I did right here. I hit the wires. Sometimes, as a man, you have to admit if a man is more manly than you. You ever have a guy stand in front of your car and make the engine rev from the front? What? It's not a big deal. To me, I'm like, he's a wizard. What's he touching? The head gasket? The catalytic converter? What's he touching? I don't even know if that's the right stuff. I just know that's under the hood. I know it's under there. You ever see him? He's like, whoa. Oh, don't touch the gas, boss. I got it. Whoa. Like, I want to know what's under his fingernails. Ugh. Looks like he's been digging graves with his bare hands and cutting portobello mushrooms all night. What's under your nails? He's like, I work hard. That's what's under my nails. I'm like, you need to work harder cleaning your fingernails. Looks like you got a French manicure with black tips. Clean it up. That's gross. My friend Mike is like that. Every time I go to his house, he's like, you want something to drink? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you want some ice? I'm like, don't touch my ice. Can I have one drink at your house without crude oil in it? How come everything I drink over has a rainbow film at the top? What is that? He's like, that'll make you tough. I'm like, that'll make you dead. That's oil.
Dogs can be dangerous, though, too. I was reading a story on the internet, which means it's true, about a police officer who was attacked by chihuahuas. It's a true story. 5 chihuahuas broke out of a house, attacked a cop. He had to go to the hospital for ankle bites. It's a true story. How? You're a cop. You have a gun. They're chihuahuas. I love dogs. Love dogs. But if like a herd of angry rabid chihuahuas is coming at me, I'm kicking chihuahua ass. I bring it when I bring it, you know? That's how I roll. Come here, come here. Sleep. Sleep. Forever. You gotta be sure. You'll be driving home, one pops up in the rear mirror on you, gotta be sure. I've seen horror movies. I know how it works. It'll be kind of weird, though, when that cop's partner shows up. Hey, I heard gunshot. What did you do? They were attacking me? These were attacking you? That was attacking you? Yeah! Look at my ankles. His socks are ruined. Oh, shit. I do like animals, even though I just killed like 1,000 fake chihuahuas up here. I do that's why I don't go to zoos. Zoos make me sad. When I see animals in cages, it makes me sad. They don't give polar bears ice at the zoo. Did you know that? They just paint the concrete white. It's like, fuck it, they're polar bears, they won't know. They know. They're just laying there going, this is the hottest ice ever. Why won't it melt? Why does everybody keep giving me Cokes? I hate soda. I did see something cool at the zoo, though. I saw a giraffe give birth one time when I was at the zoo. And I realized watching a giraffe give birth that animals have no facial expressions. No, like people tell you the whole story in the face. Animals, nothing. This giraffe dropped another giraffe out of it. Nothing. It was just standing there in the field, just... Nothing. Then the newborn baby giraffe falls 8 feet out of the mommy giraffe. She's like... Nothing. Do you know what my face would look like if I gave birth to a giraffe? Oh my God! Why'd I have sex with that giraffe? That was so dumb. Oh, the neck is so long. This is...
My mom got me my first job, my first corporate job, my first and only corporate job. I have no life skills. She did. I wanted to be a graphic designer for like a week. And I got hired at IBM. My mom was like vice president of IBM. Nepotism is a real thing. Yes. Don't worry, we weren't millionaires or anything like that. She was a single mom of 4 in the 90s. She was not making nearly as much as she should have been. None of you women care? Fuck you. She actually, my mom was the highest ranking female in corporate America back in the 90s. What? She's sitting right there. She deserves it. Yeah. She got paid $5 an hour and had to walk up a hill both ways to work. Yeah. My job was to take CD covers and put them inside CD cases. And I got fired in 3 days. Not because I didn't do it well or I didn't do it fast enough. It was because I didn't do it. Who wants to put CD covers in CD cases? That's so boring. I didn't think they would notice. They did. I got fired and I stormed up to my mom's office and I was like, Mom, they fired me. She was like, I know, they asked me if they could. She said yes! She's always trying to teach me these life lessons. That's her laugh. She's 70 now, so these rules are changing and it's more exciting for me. Yeah. Recently, she called me and she was like, I can have 3 plants in my house now. And I was like, what? She's like, I can have 3 plants in my house now. And I was like, you got 3 plants? She's like, no, I can have 3 plants. And I was like, you can have as many plants as you want, Mom. And she was like, no, it's only 3. And I was like, who is telling you that? She goes, the government. I was like, what? She was like, marijuana plants. I can grow up to 3 marijuana plants. Yeah. I was like, wait, you smoke pot? And she was like, no, I would never. Those are the things she calls me about. I told this story in Toronto. My mom was there, and she comes up to me after the show, and she goes, it's 4 now. Yeah, she wants to make sure you guys have accurate information. She calls me, I love her, it's so fun. One time she FaceTimed me from her iPad in a mall. Yeah, she was like, did you hear the news? And I was like, no, Mom, what? She's like, they've legalized prostitution in Canada today. She was in a mall. There are children walking behind her. She's FaceTiming. She's loud. It's where I get this from. She was like, oh, it's so great for them. They have their little brothel. It's so safe. How's LA going for you? I was like, LA is going good, Mom. What? Well, I just thought you should know if you ever want to move back to Canada, they legalized prostitution. I think my mom would rather me be a prostitute than a stand-up comedian.
I was thinking recently about how dumb Batman is. Yeah, not everyone loves this one, but I grew up loving comic books. And I loved Batman, and then I actually analyzed what Batman really is. Let's take a look at what Batman is. Batman is a billionaire who dresses up in body armor, and then the cops turn on a special light on top of the police station, and Batman shows up, and then the cops tell him which mentally ill person to go beat the fuck out of. That's Batman. That's how Batman works. So if we had a Batman in our world, how it would work is the cops turn on a special light on top of the police station, and then Elon Musk shows up wearing body armor, and the cops are like, yeah, Kanye's off his meds again. And he's like, I'm on it. And he jumps in his stupid truck and auto drives away, runs over a kid. That's our Batman. And that's the best Batman we could get. It's sad. Sad but true. I don't understand this new trend either of putting cop merch on cars. I see this all the time in Denver. People love to put cop merch on their car now. They got the American flag with the blue stripe through it, back the blue. I wish a cop would carry me up to bed and tuck me in. So what? When do we become a nation of dorks? You know who my favorite person in class is? The teacher. Shut up. What's wrong with you? Being a cop is a job. They get a salary. They get a pension. They have the best union. They don't need you running a nonprofit on the back window of your truck. And people are like, yeah, but being a cop's a hard job. Yeah, so is pumping out porta potties. Nobody's got those guys back. There's no Pooh Lives Matter stickers. There's no American flag with a diarrhea green stripe going through it. Everyone in this room would rather be a cop than pump out porta potties, and that's a fact. You can take that to the bank. People are like, yeah, but cops can get shot at their job. Ever think about that? Well, spoiler alert, every American has unlocked that perk, actually. The difference is cops get body armor and the rest of us will be holding up our employee badge. So, not that cool. It's not that cool. I've actually been arrested a few times. I've actually been to jail twice. Relax, it was for killing someone. No, it was for expired license plates both times. Failure to appear in court for expired license plates. That's a pretty funny way to go to jail. People are like, what are you in for? Crippling ADHD, apparently. Because I'd rather be in jail than get my license plates. People ask me what the worst part about jail is, and I'll tell you what it is. First of all, I'm talking about jail, not prison. This is the minor leagues of putting people in cages, not the pros. But in jail, I'll tell you what the worst thing about jail is. It's not the food, although the food sucks. There's one jail I went to where every single meal was a dry bologna sandwich and an old withered orange. Every meal, same meal, dry bologna sandwich, old orange. It was like being taken care of by a single parent doing the absolute minimum. It's not the toothbrush, although the toothbrush sucks. They won't give an inmate a regular toothbrush. As we all know, you'll immediately whittle it into a dagger and kill someone. You can't handle that responsibility. So the toothbrush in jail is like a lollipop stick with a little sponge on it, and they wrap it up in cellophane. And the first night they passed them out, I thought they were suckers. I was like, whoa, you get suckers before bed in jail? I thought this was supposed to be punishment. This place rules. We get night candy? Fuck yeah. This is some bad boy shit. I'm on board. But I found out it was a toothbrush because a guy was walking by my open cell, and I was like, hey, is this a toothbrush? And he snatched it out of my hand, and he goes, yeah, it is. And then he just walked away with it. And I was like, whoa, cool move, dude. Nice work. You know what they say about jail? On your first day, find the littlest guy in there and steal his toothbrush. So, power move. Enjoy those minty teeth, you fuck. It's not your cellmate, although that's also terrible. Have you ever been on an elevator ride with someone who might have been creepy or weird or smell bad? Now imagine there are all of those things and that elevator is never opening. That's what it's like to have a cellmate. The weirdest thing about cellmates, though, is that they always want the top bunk. It's like people never outgrow that, I guess. Top bunk, top bunk. Grow up, dude. What's next? You gonna call shotgun for the electric chair? Relax. You child? No, the worst thing about jail is the holding cell. The holding cell was horrible. Right here in downtown Denver, the holding cell is just one big room, and it's got metal benches fastened onto the wall, and they just put everybody they caught for the night in there, one after the other, and everyone who comes to the door is having the worst night of their life. Some of them are actively bleeding, they're screaming, they're so mad, they're all fucked up on God knows what, and just every time the door opens, it's a new ingredient for a terrible stew, and you have no idea how long you're gonna be in there. They just keep adding people. And in the middle of all this, there's one metal toilet with no curtain and no partition. And as soon as I walked in there, I was like, body, I'm gonna make a deal with you right now. I will die of septic shock before I shit in that toilet, okay? And my body was like, same page, dude, absolutely. Same page. We're taking this one to the grave. We're not gonna do it. But I'll tell you who you do have to watch out for in jail. It's the dude who walked into that room and immediately strutted over to that toilet and shit in front of everyone. Just making furious eye contact with each person in the room. That's the dude who you do not fuck with, because he's ready to die. He's left it all behind. That's the real power move.